welcome back, Saints Nation, to another NACE Varsity Premier stream from the St. Clair Nexus. I'm Smoke, joined by Evan, and we have some Valorant for you tonight. It's going to be St. Clair Varsity Premier going up against Ball State Valorant Red. Evan, how you feeling, man? Joining me on the desk again, Mr. Two-Time. We got 2 times in a row. So we're going to make it a good show.
Well, that's what they call me, Mr. Two-Time. I mean, it's like we never left, really. I mean, we were here last night with Rocket League, back again for Valorant. You know, it's great to see NACE back in full swing. We've been waiting all summer to really get back into the nitty-gritty of NACE esports, and there the boys are waiting to get started for their first match of this new NACE season. Like you said, Ball State Valorant Red, a team, at least on paper, we feel like the Saints should be able to handle a bit, you know, easily tonight, but with the roster shakeups that we've had in the offseason, Saints might not be as strong as they have been in previous years.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a narrative that St. Clair has now, given these roster changes, obviously slowed down. I know that new teams tend to take a little while before they start kind of popping off at the highest level. So given the conference that they're currently in, it's not going to be easy, Evan, if you want to go over some of those names for us right now.
Yeah, the Super Conference for this semester is definitely going to be a bit of a gauntlet. We have St. Clair in there, obviously, Ball State, Valorant Red as well, but familiar faces for watchers of Saints Valorant: Maryville, Cumberland, West Virginia, Winthrop, University of Texas at Dallas. I mean, right off the rip, at least on paper, we have some really heavy hitters in there, and we were talking the pre-show, West Virginia as well has improved their roster in the offseason, so they're also going to be a bit of a threat this year. I mean, Smoke, like, it's going to be tough for the Saints to break out this year. They really have to take advantage of these early wins where possible.
Right, absolutely. I mean, this is a huge game for them because, again, to me, this is pretty much as close to a big of a warm-up as you're going to get, right? I mean, you have teams like Maryville, Cumberland, Winthrop. Those are kind of your big three. And then even, like you said, West Virginia's made some ups to their roster. So, again, this is a huge game for St. Clair to really kind of find out where they are. I don't believe the team has played all that much together either. So, again, barring a few scrims or practices, this is literally going to be as raw as it is going to get, right? This is where you're going to figure this one out. And at the same time, again, not technically your full starting roster because Seth is stepping in tonight in Jazzy's position. So the coach is going to be on the pitch at all times, or on the battlefield in this case scenario. But again, you know, Seth, a vetted player himself, ex-SSG, and also was on this roster, the St. Clair roster, when I first came to the school, where they were arguably one of their best. So again, he knows the game inside and out, knows his players on the team, at least in terms of Instinct and Tillo, front to back. And again, Tyga and JP for tonight, they are making their debut here at St. Clair. But again, at least for JP, not new to collegiate whatsoever. So these guys have all kind of been through the ringer before, but playing together, finding that chemistry, that's going to be the step that they need to take.
No, you're absolutely right. You mentioned JP, sort of the star acquisition in the offseason for the Saints. JP coming over from Winthrop, or Cumberland, I should say, excuse me, not Winthrop. We're going to get a little bit more in depth into JP as we look towards next week, but we won't worry about that just yet. We'll tee that up when we need to. But again, like you said, Tyga and JP making their debuts tonight. You're hoping that they can mesh with the team well. You hope that with Seth playing instead of Jazzy, you know, maybe the coach will be able to sort of guide them in a little bit more, but we will wait and see. But we're rapidly approaching the start of the game as we approach map bans quickly. The Saints do have some maps that they favor, particularly. They do like to play, so we'll see what they decide to go with. Sunset being their map pick for their first one. Ball State electing to go with Lotus. BSU starting on defense of Sunset. Do you think that gives St. Clair an advantage starting on the attack early?
I mean, again, I do think St. Clair in the past has been a very aggressive team, and I think one of their keys to success sometimes could be that their over-aggression could actually be their undoing sometimes, but they typically have a very strong attack. So as we look at our lineups now, I think that seeing these guys with the new roster going into it on attack, are they going to slow down? Are Tyga and JP going to add sort of more of a cohesion and patience to the lineup? Or is this going to be even faster, just more overpowered fragging to the walls, guns blazing? We know Instinct, especially in Lotus, which is the second map, not their map pick, loves to go on that clove and just force it up mid. So sometimes, right, when he's on the lurk there, he's very close to unstoppable to stop. But here we go. First out. Let's see how this new St. Clair roster works. Some keys to success, Evan, that I have here for them immediately is just patience, right? They seem to be a very aggressive team in the past. I don't think that's going to change all that much. So that's usually one of their big things, is just having that composure and trust in Coach Comms, especially at all times now that you have Seth on that roster.
No, I absolutely agree with you there. I was going to say, you know, you mentioned the map picks as well. These are both maps that the Saints have had a lot of success on. And to your point about early round success, these early pistol rounds, so important to gain that momentum early. Is we're going to get our first bit of contact here as Instinct trying to clear out mid here, gets flashed quickly. Sev does get bombed down. JP does find the first pick. Instinct adding another one. Saints up early. See if they can keep this advantage going now that they got the spike planted.
Right, and now it's just all about being patient. Like I said, it's one of your keys to success, having that post plant. You just need to hold crosses and hope that Ball State walk into your lines of sight. It's going to be Rebo who finds the first one onto Instinct, and now there's going to be some movement through as God of Arcadia tries to walk back up, but it's not going to work out. JP and Taiga able to find the remaining picks, and I believe that is going to be St. Clair who take the first round.
Yeah, great start for the Saints here. Like we said, you want to take advantage of these early pistol rounds. This is going to give you a really good boost economically going into round 2. The Saints should be looking to get another round win here. You want to build up these early leads, especially in a game that's so important early in the season. Saints have done a really good job so far, overwhelming Ball State. I really want to see them continue to stay aggressive, get the spike down as early as they can, and just use that aggression to get Ball State a little bit out of kilter for the rest of the game.
Right, absolutely. I think something else that St. Clair can look to do on their attacks is honestly take what Ball State give you and experiment a little bit. I think Ball State heading into this are probably expecting St. Clair to play a little slower, especially considering they have a new lineup, right? Sometimes you see teams kind of be a little bit unsure of where to position in their new attacking patterns, but I think for St. Clair, right, all these players on this lineup are veterans. If I'm St. Clair, I honestly favor just sending it a little harder and just seeing if you can just get picks and catch Ball State off by surprise, right? Get experimental. Take that swing sometimes that you wouldn't usually do and just have a little bit of that ego. And so far, that's what they've had, and it's given them a man advantage for right now in round 2.
Yeah, you give JP the rifle. I mean, anybody on St. Clair with a rifle now going to have an advantage. Sev electing to save with the pistol. JP, though, it does not matter. He'll kill you with the rifle or with the pistol. That's another round going for the Saints. So far, I mean, you lose a couple members in that last one, but the Saints still easily secure that second round, and they're rolling early.
Right, I mean, it's good that at least Ball State were able to pick off 2 members. Again, not the best round for St. Clair. You would have liked to ideally keep 4 or all 5, but at the same time, not the worst either. It didn't really come down to any major scenarios or any clutch scenarios where you're not losing too much of those credits. So you still have minimum 3 players who can afford to go up big here with no repercussions whatsoever, as now St. Clair looking like they're going to try to just leave the spike and see what their duelists, what info they can gather to find out if they want to take this push onto B or not.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they decide to take an A fake here. They are stacking up on B quite a lot. We do have JP on the lurk, or that's Till, excuse me, on the lurk on the A site. Till there is going to miss those shots. Does get some intel on where Ball State is going to be defending. Still a heavy B side point. We'll see if the Saints elect to rotate around as more shots come through mid. Smoke blocking off that one path. Seven Taiga rotating back around as well. Trying to meet up with the rest of the team. Instinct going to fall first, though.
Absolutely, and it's unfortunate. Couldn't really gain that much ground. And again, you know, this is St. Clair, 40 seconds, and one member just overextends just a tiny bit, right? And it's to a point where maybe you were a little bit too patient, right? You didn't take too much ground, you didn't gather too much info, and because of that, Instinct tries to see what he can find, but the only thing he gets is a bullet in his skull, and it's now JP next to join him from Rebo, and that's one of the things that Ball Ball State, they need to do if they want to be successful here. It is a new roster, so wait for St. Clair to make mistakes. Their lack of chemistry can sometimes be their undoing, and they've done a great job there of countering their repush of A as the clock winds down.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just played right into Ball State's hands there.
Yes.
You lose instinct right off the rip, have to elect to swing back to A. Ball State's ready for it, not able to secure some of those picks there. Just a couple mistakes early, but it's okay. It's only one round. You still have a lot of time to rebound there. You still have the one-round advantage. You're still looking good with the economy, and see if the Saints are able to rebound here. But again, now that Ball State has rifles online, you have to think that they're going to try and play a little bit more aggressive, especially that they know they've drawn some blood against the Saints.
Absolutely, and I think, again, like St. Clair, seeing them drop the occasional round isn't going to scare me too much, especially on attack when Instinct can just walk through mid and do that. It's a huge first pick, and now St. Clair can play the numbers game.
Oh, the Saints are so lucky that Phobos missed that shot. He had such a good opportunity to get two off of that lurk, just not able to get that first shot, and that gives the Saints the intel to swing back on him. They are going to get the trade back as Instinct falling first yet again. As we're even at 4. God of Arcadia adding another one, and Rebo another one for Ball State. Now up to Tillo to try and clutch this up, but doesn't have the spike. Is going to recover it, but it's got two members left of Ball State. They're waiting for him though. Tillo falls, and Ball State ties it up.
Well, unfortunately, because of where the spike drops there near market side, it's really unfortunate, and Tillo has no choice there. He just has to try to see if he can long arm pick it up, or if not, take the swing. But that being said, both Ball State defenders just going to double up there. Nothing but a routine 1v2 playthrough on that one, and Ball State comfortably take that round under their belt.
Yeah, you got to think that the Saints still should be feeling a bit confident, though. You do lose 2 in a row, but you still have some of that early momentum you built up. But now, with your pistols, having to eco, definitely not a good look. Really, really important to try and secure an opening pick, or at least get the spike down and try and get a little bit more credits to get into the next round if you end up dropping this one here. And that's exactly what Seth is going to do. Get a quick plant. Which seemed to work for them last time. We'll see if they can handle it. That's JP, though, with Chamber absolutely going huge. That is that pick that you wanted to start, but Thomas, though, responds for Ball State.
That being said, it was a good use of the Sage Wall to just get your team in, and then from that, you can just have JP use that tour de force to lock down any defender aggression to retake on that spike. And now, really, Ball State, they have no choice but to just kind of walk back into it. It's going to be Taga that goes down, though. The aftershock was well found out there from Phobos. And now Diffuse is going through. The smoke, the one way, it's just enough to find JP. But Seth with a double on the Sheriff finds, no, was maybe going to find the last, but I think the timer, it's too far gone. Seth doing a beautiful job there to just burn time. He's feeling himself. The double headshot with the Sheriff, and he's going to be able to get that round for St. Clair. Not even just that, the Omen couldn't even get out of the spike's radius in time, so you don't even get to save as well. Brutal right there for Ball State.
Yeah, we're going to get a replay on that. Sev just going huge with the Sheriff there, finding 2, just delaying just enough to give the Saints the round win there. You really think that the Saints got lucky there. I mean, that looks like it had Ball State winning just all over it, but Sev, the coach, clutching up in the big moment.
Absolutely. You know what? Again, he may be a coach, but this guy not too long ago was competing on this roster when it was at arguably its highest level. So again, it's not necessarily a debuff. Yes, well, you would want Chazzy in this lineup under any normal conditions. That being said, again, like I said, there's a benefit sometimes to having a coach in the lineup, and that's that Seth, right, he hasn't gone too long without playing, and you can take the coach comms now at all times. It's almost like every round can be treated as a tactical timeout, every buy phase, right? He's reading exactly what Ball State has, and that's the benefit that you get for having him on the starting roster for tonight. That being said, right here, the fade ult's going to go through, and let's see what Tillo and company can accomplish here as they look to aggress on A.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on too. Both JP and God of Arcadia with ops in this round. A first look at JP, the new opper for the Saints. We'll see if he's able to be effective with that instinct. Does take out the recon bolt, but is going to get his location reveal. Is going to teleport out of there. First member of Ball State is going to fall. That's JP with the
30
op,
seconds
going to
left.
get the counter opper from Ball State. Huge pick for the Saints, as now they look to move into A, as the rest of Ball State has to rotate back in.
Right, I mean, they've just completely given up the site here. Elbow control is completely free, and JP is not going to give Ball State a damn thing. Finds his third with the op right now. Somebody shut him down. He is on fire.
Yeah, huge picks from JP. I mean, he has been the star of the round. Going to be so deadly with that op. Thomas and Law have their work cut out for him. Thomas does pick up the op. I'd like to see if he's probably going to save it. I think Ball State's just going to concede the round here. No way to get back into the site to retake it. JP trying to hunt for a straggler, not going to find any. Saints going to win another round. The momentum, once again, swings back in St. Clair's favor.
That being said, I'm going to be very interested to see if any of St. Clair's players run into Law.
Well, they
who's
might.
just sitting back in his spawn, and this might actually be a decent move. However, you kind of have to expect this, especially if, you know, Ball State were willing to save. So far as no one oversteps their boundary, this should be a stalemate that results in no deaths.
Yeah, the Saints were a little smarter than to swing on that. Law just sitting in T-spawn, waiting to get in there. But again, the Saints, like you said, a little smarter than that. They're not going to over-aggress. They're not going to try and flex too hard this early. They know they still have a lot of game left to play, but this is exactly what we wanted to see. You know, you stumble a little bit in those rounds, like round 3 and 4, then you come back with a great answer and retake the lead. Now you have an opportunity to build off of it.
Right, I mean, this is the biggest testament to me was seeing how St. Clair bounces back after conceding 2 rounds. Something that St. Clair's kind of been notoriously bad at in the past is just kind of having a horrible mental and sometimes just digging themselves into a deep hole when they concede multiple rounds in a row, and it just spirals down. You get more round losses on top of them, and they just can't seem to get themselves out. But this is really good. It seems like they reset well here, Evan, and getting the next 2. Let's see if they can add it onto a third. Seth able to find the first in Rebo. No more smokes right now for Ball State.
Yeah, great opening pick from Sev. I mean, he's been doing it all. He's been getting the spike down, getting that intel, getting those opening picks, and once again, the Saints go for this quick B swing. Taiga gonna try and get the spike down. Ball State crashing the site, flashes going out. Thomas having to back up. God of Arcadia, though, the other opper has found 2 of the Saints. 2 members left, Taiga and Instinct. As we say their names, they do find the equalizing kills. Phobos and Law, the only members left alive for Ball State. Law finding Taiga. Instinct, the man to clutch it up here. And the 1v1 Law in a familiar situation, trying to get that defuse. Isn't gonna find the shot. Instinct lands it, and he's gonna make it another round for the Saints. Cold-hearted.
Right, I mean, calm, composed. You can't say anything else about the man in that scenario. Instinct getting the job done there. And for the Saints, a beautiful, what was it, 2v4? Great job on the post plant, letting the spike be that third teammate in the scenario. You know where they have to come from. Law low as well. So getting that headshot off the other player on the drop of the sage wall, huge there, as you just know the next guy's already been tagged.
And you have to think that that feels really good. You know, we talk about how big the momentum is. You know, we've been saying it a lot, but now it really starts to feel like the Saints have gotten warm. They're playing together well as a team. Now they're really going to try and go on a bit of a run here. Because again, like I said, the advantage is all on their side. And they still look locked. I mean, they're not, you know, over-celebrating or anything. They still look super locked in right now. We're just waiting for that next round to start. But again, if we just keep, you know, keep that momentum going, stay locked in, the Saints should have no problem dispatching Ball State in map 1.
Well, I mean, even me and you, right, we were going to go before we even started this cast. We were like, hey, let's talk to Yusuf about the team. We go down there, and we see that they're sort of in a practice, right, practice scrim, and they were kind of getting their butts handed to them, and they were looking pretty mad. So me and you were like, yeah, no, we do not want to talk to them whatsoever. Let them lock in. It seems like, if I have to say, if that was, if anything, a wake-up call, they look very poised so far. And yes, while this is St. Clair on attack, we'll see how they fare on defense. So far, they are a team that when you give them momentum, they will ride that wave. And God of Arcadia has just drowned in that tsunami. Instinct, the first one, takes his head off.
Yeah, Instinct leading the way. Once again, Tillo, though, is going to fall to Thomas with the Sheriff. See if the Saints have anything to respond with. It's now Ball State members have been revealed on the map. Saints have some intel to work with here as they rotate back over to B. Ball State has to be waiting for him. Still two members trying to defend A, and once we say that Sev is going to bring Tillo back to the field using that Sage ult, Saints once again have a numbers advantage. And we'll see where they elect to go as they try and creep up near mid. Taiga leading the way with the spike.
A little bit of a weird engagement there, as I thought Phobos was going to be the first point of connection, but no. St. Clair, they just force their way through market. Now they have a little bit of a B take going on. It's going to be Rebo who finds the first, though, and all of a sudden it's kind of going all awry. Instinct finds a second. However, a huge 180 flick, I believe, from Tillo finds another one as well. Just as St. Clair, we're seeing problems arise from their B take. Tillo gets the job done, finds the 2 picks they need from mid, and now can just hold off this last player who they already know is coming straight from there. Phobos not going to be able to get the job done. Tillo, huge round, securing it for St. Clair through plays in mid.
Yeah, a little bit of a messy round, especially when Ball State is only on a half buy. There, you probably lost a little bit too much. You did have to use that Sage ult as well to bring Tillo back. Lots of investment going in that round, but a win is a win nonetheless, despite the fact that it was a little bit messy. And again, the momentum is just still riding that green wave of Saints. And I mean, look at the scoreboard right now. Look at JP, 11-4 in this first half. I mean, he's really been doing it all so far. The star is really showing out tonight in his first game for St. Clair.
Well, I was going to say, right, I mean, that was one of the things that I really liked to see out of St. Clair. New lineup, doesn't matter. Get someone in and enable them. Give them some ego. Give them chamber. Let them go crazy on the op, as JP is going to do there. And I love to see it. It's that flair that St. Clair always sort of seems to have regardless of the lineup. The Neon cannot get away. The flash too well placed. And Tillo going to be able to claim a free one there as St. Clair, they look to see if they can just use this 2-man right now to slowly gather any info they can on A. That being said, they could just be waiting for the Cypher to just make a move. If you have the whole team forcing through A and mid, it's going to be very easy to neglect the spike over on B. But that being said, the Cypher seems like he's very calm and composed, not opting to move at all, as Phobos is going to find a huge pick through elbow and get Tillo down for the count.
Yeah, great job from Ball State getting that equalizer. The Saints still slowly trying to make their move. Looks like they're going for a bit of a wrap through mid to try and get behind Ball State at A.
30 seconds left.
It looks like it might pay off as Instinct completely has an off-angle wall, though. Seems to suspect something is coming. He can't stop it, though, as Instinct does find him. And now the Saints crash the site. Taiga is there to get the spike down. Rebo going to be held out by that Sage wall as Steph is waiting for him to come through. Phobos does eventually spray and pray to find Sev. It's all up to Instinct and Taiga to secure this post plant. We'll see if Ball State has anything left in the tank to try and respond as Rebo going to be caught through the smoke. Taiga does have an idea of where these Ball State members are coming from. Instinct waiting for Thomas, does find one member left for Ball State. Not going to happen. Taiga secures the win. The Saints continue to roll, and they're looking good while doing it.
Well, you have the smoke down there, and you also get the blind orb as well out of the Omen. And immediately, once Instinct secures that other pick from the off angle, you know where the last two are most likely going to be. It's a really well done play there, just dancing around the spike plant position by our Omen. And at the same time, you know, you cannot write it up any better than that. Again, it's just composure. And it's something that the Saints are looking so good at right now to start in their attacking rounds. Even just the way they crash the site, right? Take what Ball State give you. You get Instinct on that off angle, finds the pick on site. Immediately, you use the Sage Wall to back them out, and you crash on like that. Perfectly well done by St. Clair. Hopefully, we see more of that in their attacks.
And it goes to show you that the Saints can play in multiple different ways. We've seen that they've had success in these quick hits that get Ball State out of commission. They can also play a bit slower like that as well to their advantage. And look at this, another quick round going for the Saints here as blink and you miss it. Ball State has lost 3 members, Instinct having 2 this round. Just another quick, just almost impossible
Spike
to stop
planted.
Green Wave from
Last
St.
player
Clair's. Now the
standing.
bomb gets down again. JP finds his 12th pick of the match. It's all up to God of Arcadia to potentially secure it. Not going to happen. He's going to try and save. Does find Till on the way out, though. It's going to be big for Ball State to give them just a little bit of extra credits going into this next round. As you would have to think God of Arcadia going to be trying to save here just to give Ball State something, anything, to try and get back into this one.
That being said, after there's just 2 more rounds in this half, and so far, St. Clair, they've looked very dominant, doing a good job of just taking ground when they have the opportunity. They do not let any window slip them by, and JP not going to let the Neon do just that either. Cuts her down with the outlaw, and that's going to be all wraps for round 10 as St. Clair, a demanding 8-2 lead, and Evan, I gotta say it, not the way I was expecting this game to go.
No, definitely not. I think we were expecting a bit of a closer
Couple more
match.
jitters.
No, for sure, but they look like they're already in mid-season form. You know, you lose Tillo on that lurk there. Arcadia able to find somebody there, but JP able to secure and get that one back for him. So not really a huge loss as you're still able to find the saving member of Ball State. But again, still a lot of Valorant left to play. But I mean, initially, like first reaction, the Saints are looking pretty strong so far.
Absolutely, and you know, I know that Instinct in the past has been a duelist player, but last year, right, that was usually Fair who was on the team, right, was usually on that jet, was usually taking those initial gunfights, and we saw Instinct kind of have to take a step back, right, play that initiator, play that Clove on Lotus, which I still think he's going to do. But seeing the man cook on the Yoru on Sunset so far, it's been nothing more than a treat to me. I love what I'm seeing right now out of Instinct. He's just finding the nastiest little crevices to slip himself into, and he is definitely taking it to Ball State. Found that double earlier to just get the round going, and honestly, looking at the entry KD for him, he's just been on an absolute roll.
No, absolutely. You know, we really have been sort of talking about JP for the most part, but Instinct, like you said, has been there as well. I mean, one of the 2 veteran players on this roster, you know, being that leader, that team leader, he really has been doing it all. And there is his teammate, his partner in crime, JP, finding that opening pick. Once again, God of Arcadia going down early. The initiators for Ball State just really haven't been able to get anything going here for their team, just almost feeding the Saints at this point. I mean, it really hasn't been an issue for them so far with these opening frags. And again, St. Clair trying to get a quick hit onto A, and it looks like they're going to do it without any resistance.
Yeah, right. I mean, then you can just use the Sage Wall eventually to block off an avenue, and it's been working for St. Clair, forcing Ball State through single avenue sight lines and then smoking off the off angle. It's really doing wonders right now. As you go on this post plant, it's going to be Seth to just use that Sage Wall to have an elevated angle here in an area where you wouldn't necessarily expect a person to be 7 feet tall. As now Instinct finding yet another double, trying to guard the flank. No one on their way there, but at this point, the round is going to be all over. If you're Rebo, just want to make sure you have that op for last round.
You gotta save that op.
You know, it's unfortunate. Maybe picks off Tillo, but they just miss each other as Rebo's gone back to spawn. And it seems that there will just be 2 ships passing in the night. No one will know whatever happened. No one will know how close they got to each other. Not that it matters. St. Clair up 9-2, looking so dominant on attack.
We say no one will ever know, but we'll know. The
will,
audience
yes.
will know.
Yes.
We'll know what could have been there, but Ball State lucky they were able to save that op. I guess it's something to take out of that round because we really haven't been able to say a whole lot of positives about them since those 2 rounds they won earlier in this game. I mean, it's been all Saints from here on out. I mean, like, you look at that. That's 7 rounds in a row for them after dropping 2. And, like, even though this is last round before half, they don't look like they're going to be stopping at all.
Let's play.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. Rebo hasn't been doing too bad in terms of picks, but then again, picks are not everything in Valorant, right? If we're looking at the ways he's died, there have been some very unfortunate circumstances where he dies early on and they no longer have smokes, and then off of that, St. Clair, they crash site. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. He can be dead, he can be alive. St. Clair, they just work their way through anyway. Tillo finds one, Phobos with the trade back, but St. Clair again finding themselves in an easy post-plant scenario. barring a little bit of a throw. Yes, you don't have man advantage, but they haven't been able to retake this site from you at all so far. Every time you've gone for it, you've been successful. So just follow your way through, but it's not going to be that time, as it seems Ball State, they've done the right move there. They've just crashed on the site altogether, and who would have thought? As long as you don't enter one by one, seems that you'll be able to play man advantage and finally get a huge retake. And that's good to at least see some sort of life from Ball State. You know, it's like you said, it was really hard to see Ball State just kind of down and out. We obviously, I know we are a St. Clair stream, but me and you in general, we don't like seeing one-way games. You really like to kind of pick up on stuff that the other team can do well, and, you know, there you go. Finally, you have the man advantage on a post plant. You catch the Saints being a little too impatient, a little overzealous, and you find a round for yourselves at least to boot.
And at least now that it's the second half, you know, you can come out, if you win the pistol, most likely going to win that second round as well after that, as we take a look at a replay of this final round. Ball State, like you said, just able to crash the site perfectly and able to catch the Saints off guard. And like you said, you get a little bit more momentum now. You maybe feel good about adding around the side switches now. It's, you know, you don't want to say it's a whole new game, but it's a new opportunity to potentially get some more. And again, if Ball State's able to secure this pistol, might be able to build up some rounds early here. But it's going to be really tough to stop the Saints because they are cooking early. And once again, Instinct finding that opening pick onto Rebo. That's exactly what the Saints been looking for.
Wow, I mean, do you see the way the whole team just pulled back? You have the elbow aggression, you have the chamber pinned down with the Cypher camera, and then, boom, recall happens, and all of a sudden Instinct finds a pick on the lurk, and now Ball State are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Evan, they don't really know where to go.
No, they're all out of kilter right now. The Saints have a very stout defense. You got 2 on B, 3 covering A, and 1 ready to take mid if need be. Do have the spike in hand, though. Phobos, the one carrying it for Ball State. They elect to take mid control. They are going to get through it. Tillo going to rotate back over. The rest of the Saints ready to meet him, but Phobos wins that fight with JP. And now Ball State trying to take more space. Not going to happen, though. Seth is there for 3 of them. That's the spike down as well. Thomas does trade out Sev to put an end to his reign of terror, but not going to do it as Instinct cleans it up. Saints looking really, really strong, and that pistol sends a big statement to Ball State. They want to win this one now.
I mean, honestly, back like he never left. Seth with the 3K, quickly done with the classic, the 180 flick. The man's too good. And sometimes, you know, it's like I said, it's that coach buff, you know? Playing with a chip on his shoulder. You know, everyone's saying, yo, he's washed. He's not going to do nothing. He's doing a lot right now. And actually, I want to talk about just how they shut down that Ball State rush, right? That Sage Wall, so key, because it forces them to go through JP and elbow, and the second the recall happened and Instinct finds the lurk, it just leaves Ball State completely clueless, just like it's happening again. God of Arcadia, how many times the Duelist has just fallen so early? Instinct has completely dominated the entry here, Evan.
Yeah, Instinct has been absolutely massive, especially in the second half of the game. Like you said, finding those opening picks, being that initiator for the Saints, he's really been putting on a clinic on how to do that properly. The Saints, once again, in a prime spot for some good defense here, as once again, Ball State split early, are going to get an Omen smoke to get top mid cover. JP misses twice, has to retreat, does get the intel on Rebo's position. Let's see what the Saints elect to do. Taiga, though, spray and pray through the smokes, going to get 2 members of Ball State. Tillo adding another one. All up to Rebo now to potentially salvage the round, but with only a sheriff in hand and a dream, going to be a tall order. JP says, not going to happen. Saints 11, Ball State 3.
Right, well, I mean, you're just going to re-peek the man. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. There's no shame on JP as he cuts down the secondary swing again. You give that man a second opportunity, he is never going to miss. With the Outlaws now, St. Clair find themselves 11-2 away from claiming first map as they look ever so comfortable on Sunset. And I'm very excited because the Saints of old, I get it, it's a new roster. They've looked really good on Lotus as well.
Yeah, you have to think that the Saints had to, you know, they're going to feel really, really confident heading into Lotus. Ball State, though, they open with a pick. Tillo responds in kind, but Ball State able to make a statement first in this round. See if the Saints have an answer for this. Ball State trying to take this A hit, just Rebo on that lurk once again. See if the Saints are able to sniff him out. God of Arcadia trying to creep up just a little bit. Taiga waiting in the wings. Shots get traded out. Taiga gonna retreat. Does get that intel though. Saints gonna rotate in kind. But JP though, so deadly. Waiting in mid. Not sure if Rebo has...
I think he's going to go undetected.
I think so, and JP going to find him. His patience is rewarded. Tillo as well waiting. The smoke drops. Perfect timing. Tillo gets traded out, but does get one on the way out. 3 for the Saints, 2. Or I should say 1 for Ball State. Now it's all up to Thomas. Ooh, crispy shot onto Taiga. Doesn't have the spike though. Is going to try and go close to CT, but Instinct is waiting. See if he can get that. Does miss. Thomas retreats.
He does, and at this point, you know, 15 seconds left to go, and Thomas baiting the plant, has to try to isolate these 1v1s, but the Saints are just too composed. Doubling up as Instinct almost leaves Seth hanging. They do a very good job there, despite Ball State actually, with the opening window, a huge teleport out from the Omen. Taiga able to burn the Aftershock and elbow from the bridge. And then JP exhibiting so much patience in mid and playing it like a true veteran, the 2v1 scenario the Saints do, and doubling up like that, there's almost no chance, a snowball's chance in hell, if you will, for Ball State to win that round.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, at this point, I think the Saints could probably chalk this one up to a victory. I mean, even if you, for some reason, dropped this one and another 2, I mean, you're still so close. God of Arcadia, though, bit of a ballsy play, pulling out the shotgun for this round here. You have to think that this is the all-or-nothing round for Ball State. If you're going to get something going, it has to be right now,
They've
right
got a good
here.
site crash.
Good site crash. Law going to get the spike down. And that's what we saw from the Saints. These aggressive opening plants that Ball State just really hasn't been able to do because of St. Clair's stout defense. We'll see how the Saints do trying to break through this post-plant defense. Good start, though, as Instinct once again finds that opening pick. Taiga adding another one.
But it's got to be Seth who needs to watch out here, right? I mean, God of Arcadia just sitting so close with that shotty. Instinct gonna get the tag, but there it is. The shotgun comes through, and it rains on in. The Judge picking up 2. Now, all of a sudden, Instinct has a play to make, needs to defend his diffuser, and he's gonna do just that. The pick though from elbow, and now the re-up on the diffuse. JP can just hold the man, and there it is. Well done there from St. Clair. Instinct, another one to put in the highlight montage as we move on to map 2.
Yeah, they made it look so easy there. I mean, Instinct is so clean with those shots, calm, composed, doing it all for the Saints. I mean, we're gonna take a look, hopefully, at a replay of those final kills. I mean, just what a match to start off your NACE season.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Again, like we said, I even had my notes here, right? Wait for lack of chemistry to create windows of opportunity, right, for Ball State. It just wasn't there. It was never there. Instinct looking so damn good on the Yoru, and even then, honestly, Evan, I think Seth, such a huge factor. The coach really balling out on Ball State here. Love what they were doing, right, to create quick windows of opportunity with that Sage wall offensively. And even on defense, I highlight that round where Ball State, they try to throw the same strategy back on in them, right? Crash the site, use that cypher cam you have on elbow to grant you that access to intel. Then you know someone's playing close. Tag him, move in through a main. That immediately then gets completely shut off by Seth using that Sage wall to block off a main, force him through elbow. JP has the recall, and then Instinct, it buys them enough time for Instinct to work his way down mid. He has the intel of where approximate positions are, finds the pick, and then from there, what do we do for St. Clair? We reset. And this is huge to see that this is something that they're doing right. Sometimes you see St. Clair, they kind of just get one pick, and they're like, oh man, I want it all. Instinct in the past, you know, I know he's fiending for that second pick, that third pick. He wants the highlight right there and then. Really well done by him to just keep his composure, keep his discipline, and pull back, reset, let the team do the work.
And that's just veteran play right there. You know, Instinct going to be one of the leaders on this squad now. You know, returning player, him and Tillo, the ones who are really going to have to step up you know, like we said, the narratives around the team this year is maybe they aren't as good this year. You know, maybe there are signs of weakness in the team this year. You know, maybe some people have already written them off. But so far, I mean, it's only one round in one game. But if this is a preview of what we're going to see later, the ceiling is definitely high still, I think. There still is a very, you know, there's an abundance of talent in the team. If they can just, you know, continue to mesh together and just stay consistent as a unit, it's going to be a good season for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, write them off all you want. And something in comparison, right? St. Clair, we wear color green. Guess who wore the color green one time in his career? Geno Smith, and he ain't right back, though. And there you go, right? There's your little reference there for any NFL fans. But that being said, Map 2, Lotus, what can we come to expect, right? I mean, St. Clair, they're going to, I believe, start on the defense, I think, as Lotus is usually more attacker favored, given that it's a 3-site split. So you have more options, right? Defense has to spread more thin, and that's where sometimes you see your solo Sentinels kind of holding down on that C site, right? But that being said, I think that St. Clair, either way, I like what I've seen from them in the past from Lotus. I think Ball State, if I had to be honest here, unless they've significantly declined, I'm excited to see what they bring out here, and I don't think Ball State's going to have an easier time dealing with St. Clair on Lotus, in my opinion.
Well, they're definitely going to have their work cut out for them. I mean, we take a look at the final scoreboard from that last match. Instinct able to secure top frags, 19 for him, 18 for JP. Tillo, Taiga, and Seth bringing up the rear. I mean, Seth, how impactful is he? I know he's not really lighting up the scoreboard, but making impactful plays, getting the spike down, just such a good player to have on your side. And on the other side, for Ball State, it's going to be God of Arcadia, going to be the top fragger. Rebo with 11, Thomas, Phobos, and Law bringing up the rear. Very quiet game for Law. Only 2 kills for him, just feeding St. Clair, quite frankly.
Right, well, usually the problem is with your initiators, sometimes what you want to do is you want to back up your duelists, right? And yes, Arcadia might have the most amount of picks on the scoreboard, but think about when Arcadia was dying, right? So early, so often to that man. Instinct. Average combat score 298, give him the 19-7, and he is a little bit of a rager. I've talked about this before. He's one to tilt, and that is a key of success for Ball State, right? Be annoying. Let St. Clair kind of dig themselves into the mental bubble. It did not happen at all this game. These guys hit a wave, they brought out their surfboards, and they rode. That was as simple as it gets.
Riding that green wave to victory. I mean, like we said, Instinct, a great first map for him. We'll see if he can match that on Lotus. When we return from break, we're going to be going to Lotus for map 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to St. Clair versus Ball State Valorant Red, NACE Varsity Premier Week 1. As we see St. Clair taking a 1-0 lead so far in the series, just need one more to get it done, and it's going to be on Lotus.
Yeah, and I think the key to victory here is just keep it going. I mean, the game plan was so stout on the last one. I mean, going on to Lotus, like you said, definitely an attacker-favored map with those 3 sites, but if the Saints are able to find those opening picks, disrupt Ball State's attempt to even get the spike down and just stop that early aggression, should be another easy round win for the Saints. But again, I don't want to jinx anything, of course. There still is a lot of Valorant left to play. Anything can happen, but I really think the Saints are just going to try and keep this aggressive game plan going and just let Instinct and JP cook.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's very well said, right? Instinct was just dominating on the entry picks as opposed to God of Arcadia, and, you know, it's just unfortunate. Sometimes there just seems to be a diff, but that being said, you know, don't write Ball State out of this just yet. I get it, Lotus. I'm excited to see what St. Clair brings here, but at the same time, this is Ball State's map pick for a reason. If they didn't think they were better at St. Clair on it, they would have banned it. So that being said, it's definitely a map that Ball State are comfortable in, and we will just simply have to see how the cookie crumbles. There's no way to write down about it. Some things that I will say, though, obviously Instinct, known for picking that Clove on Lotus and just sending it up mid, and then proceeding when he gets back to the enemy spawn to become the ultimate lurker. We've seen it happen countless times. And has it been picked out here? No, it hasn't. And honestly, I don't blame him, because if you have the opportunity to continue the style of play that you've done through Yoru, you can do the exact same thing. It doesn't have to be on Clove. And honestly, I don't blame him at all. I like this a lot, and it seems like St. Clair going to be on the attacking side for now as well. So decent looks here for St. Clair in my opinion. See how they handle it.
Like you said, this is an attacker-sided map. The Saints definitely have to be feeling good about starting on that side. But again, it's all about these opening picks, especially in the pistol round. That Instinct securing an ult orb for himself. Just a nice free little treat on the ground on the map here is JP trying to work up. Oh my goodness. What a shot from JP to open the map. Good God. God of Arcadia.
Yeah, I mean, you can't write it any better than that, right? A decent first pick, and St. Clair, now they can use number advantage, and as they come through the smoke, this double swing should be able to give Seth the pick he needs on Taribo, and now no smokes minus the Viper Wall, which is already up. Ball State, they need to make a move on this retake immediately, and I don't know how easy it's going to be right now. Everyone minus Tillo still up and ready to go for St. Clair.
And we got a taste of it in the last map. We saw how good the Saints were on the post-plant. Instinct does get traded out, but does take Thomas with him. JP adding a second one. All going to be up to Phobos to potentially clutch it up. Not going to happen, though, as Seth puts an end to that attempt. Saints, once again, win the opening pistol.
Right, I mean, I just mentioned to Seth as he was walking back, I was like, man, last round, you know, he had that 3K with the Classic on the stage right on B site on Sunset, and I was kind of like, oh, man, I didn't know you had that in you with the Classic. He was like, yeah, I know, right? That was probably my highlight of the entire night. Jokingly, I think that Seth is just honestly a pistol demon from here on out. That's what I'm going to know him as, because he's dropped yet another 2 there. St. Clair doing a really good job picking up their first, hopefully first of many. And again, you know, they are a team that rides on momentum. If you've given St. Clair attack on Lotus and they just pick up round after round, it might not matter once the sides flip. You get them that close to the finish line, it's a huge mental block that Ball State will have to come over. And I don't know if things continue the way they've been going all series long, I don't know if they got that in them.
With this JP, just line him up. He finds 2. Can he add the 3rd? He does. What? Line them up for JP. He's going to get them all. Just doing it all for the Saints. The star acquisition, like we said.
Poison's off.
Blink and you miss it. Ball State already down 3. And the Saints look to push on that aggression as Instinct. Here he goes in with the shotgun, using those neon speed boosts. Oh, with the flick onto Thomas with the shotgun. Taiga gonna get the bomb, or the spike down as well. All up to Rebo. I'm gonna be honest, Smoke. I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, you know, it's just tough when your teammates literally line up and it just becomes counting to 3 with JP. It's not a question of whether he's going to get the 3, it's just how long it's going to take him, right? I mean, that was absolutely nasty, and, you know, Rebo, like you said, not a whole lot you can do but just look on and wait as St. Clair will inevitably claim their second round here. Again, I really think St. Clair, after taking such a dominant sunset, having them be on Lotus attack is just, well, not a very good recipe for success if you're facing them.
Yeah, unfortunate for Instinct, is going to over-aggress and is going to fall, but still a solid round for St. Clair. I mean, what more can you say? JP with the 3K there, just putting the team on his back, saying, don't worry, guys, I got it. Let's just keep going.
Absolutely, and I mean, I love what I'm seeing again. St. Clair, they really do look a little bit different. They are no longer, in my opinion, just crashing on in all brainlessly, high maneuvers, just getting through and using their mechs to find out everything, despite the fact that maybe that's going to be what Instinct does here. Taiga's going to be able to get one. Can he get the second? No, not quite, but at minimum gets the raise quite low. Instinct going to be able to immediately blitz on through, and this time, looking like the St. Clair of old, just able to take C-Site by force. That being said, this rotation is going to happen, and because they think that St. Clair are going to take C, they leave A all Baron. And if St. Clair have read this right, all of this pressure by Instinct was a complete ruse to make Ball State rotate off of A site. That being said, they might not even have to get the spike down. Instinct, he's just going wild! 4K, and that's going to be all she wrote for that round. Line him up, drop him down. It's just a math class, and we're counting with St. Clair.
Man, Instinct and JP just going band for band in this one right now. Instinct says, all right, JP, you can get a 3K. Watch this. And he drops a 4K. I mean, what more can you say about these initiators for the Saints? Just doing it all. Instinct putting the team on his back in that round. Just complete domination from the Saints. Like you said, they look different so far. They look like a much more composed and mentally sound unit this time. Really, really looking forward to see what they can do later in the season once they have more time to cook and gel as a unit.
Well, I mean, I just love seeing Instinct so far back on this duelist role. It's something that I've missed for a long time, and, well, he's proving why he's never really dropped off from that as God of Arcadia. Up close and personal, but JP's actually going to be the one to deal the damage. Puts down the raise, gets traded out. Rebo, good to do so, but that being said, your raise is gone, and now that counter pressure going to be so hard to line up. Won't be hard for Phobos to line up a headshot, however, but Taiga able to trade on out as the pressure moves on through to C. Orbs going down is now. It's just Ball State. They might be a little bit late to this potential rotation. Rebo has to kind of hold off these two players on Mountain. St. Clair, they're in a little bit of a hard area right now. Smoke goes through, and that should give them a little bit of an in. Make too much noise, though, and Thomas is going to be able to clear this one up very quickly. Moving on through the smoke, and it's
30
just
seconds left.
a game of time and patience. The second this goes down, the first pick should have to come out. It's going to be Seth, though. He finds two. Give him the third as well. The man is simply unstoppable. It's all too easy for the head coach.
Big-time players make big-time plays.
I love it. That's what I say, man.
We've been seeing it all match so far. Everybody getting their chance to be the star in that round. First it was JP, then it was Instinct, then it was Seth. Just the whole team just absolutely balling as a unit right now. I mean, what more can you say about how good they've been? If you're Ball State, how do you even defend against this when the Saints are just that locked in right now and just beating you in every single step? Really, really going to be hard for them to get back into this one. And I mean, right now, you've dropped 4 in a row. You finally get some
beautiful observer angle.
Great observer shot.
Timeout. Sorry, just want to say that right now. Shoutouts to my little brother, actually, who's observing this game, Adam. As you see, amazing shots there in the tactical timeout. Thanks, bro.
Only the best on St. Clair broadcasts. Only the best angles, the best observer quality. I mean, what more can you say?
Honestly,
you must be proud.
I am. Yeti, call him up. Let's just get this going. And now,
you heard him.
As we see, Ball State St. Clair. 4-0, your scoreline so far. There's not a lot of faith right now that I have in Ball State. They already took their tactical time out, looking like they're a little bit mentally flustered, and as they should be, in my opinion.
You do finally get some rifles online here.
You want to
buy for Ball State, but not really sure it's going to matter here. Whiffing on Instinct does eventually find it, but oh my goodness, look at that. Ball State coming back, dropping 4 members of the Saints. The Saints getting a little too aggressive on this tight A defense. Let's see if JP, oh, wait a minute. Let's see what he can do here. Does have Chambers online. Isn't going to happen, just not the right timing through the smoke. Phobos securing Ball State's first round win of the match in what feels like forever.
And honestly, you were going to say St. Clair got a little too aggressive there. I think Ball State just took the tactical time out and just said, nah, screw this. Why are we respecting their play? They just wanted to send St. Clair a little bit of a quick message, throw them off of their game, and they were able to do that. So all credit going forward for a tactical timeout buying you around. The difference is, can you continuously repeat something that can give you that same outcome? It's going to be very hard to do that. Instinct immediately finding the first 2 picks, the fade ult comes through, and already we see how hard it is to replicate a round like last time. St. Clair, you know, if you're going to show them that they're going to play fast, that's great, but we can be the ones to up the tempo too. Seth finds one, and immediately it's all down to the last one, and it honestly won't even matter. St. Clair, led by Seth and Instinct, they crash site, and this round, all but over.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. St. Clair able to match the aggression that Ball State had in the last one, and that was sort of their secret to success on that first map. These ultra aggressive hits was the secret to their victory. Thomas does find Instinct, not going to matter though. Saints do secure another round in their favor, but again, if the Saints can keep up this aggressive play and just try and keep Ball State off kilter, like, it's going to be easy for them to just secure this one right away. I mean, Ball State just really hasn't had an answer for these aggressive plays. Like, the one that they did win really only happened because the Saints just elected to 4-stack on that opening side there, just not working out.
Stay focused.
There's nothing working out for Ball State since then.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's simple. They got caught wrong place, wrong time, but if that was all your tactical timeout was for, was just to simply get one quick round by St. Clair,
not a good investment.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You must have a pretty weak game plan because, as you can tell, it wasn't able to be replicated. That is a very unfortunate on ADS time right there, and that's huge because that could have been the difference maker in this round, and now all of a sudden, no, Tillo. All you have to do is just line him up. Don't tell me you potato on the second one. Hey, please clean up that kill, and he does make true on that as St. Clair. They bag yet another, proving Ball State, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, shallow game plan. I'm not too impressed here as St. Clair. They're just kind of making mincemeat of them.
I think so. I think the game plan right now in big red letters on the whiteboard is just stop Instinct from popping off. That's it. That's all it's been going. And I mean, you talked about how aggressive the Saints have been, but Tillo showing that patience is also
I mean, Seth's 8-1 right now. Like, what are we doing? The head coach is just completely styling on you guys.
JP,
I mean, there you go.
Once again,
the entry, all the same, goes St. Clair's way immediately. The res earned on the Rays is now a little bit of slow down right now for St. Clair. Leave it to JP. If they're just going to peek him with the Outlaw again and again, if I'm a betting man, I'll take those odds.
Yeah, I mean, Ball State's been constantly trying to challenge JP with that Outlaw, and JP has just won every time. Like,
yeah.
He's proven that, like, that's a ball don't lie moment right there. God of Arcadia gets that first pick. Sev falling. Still a lot of work to do if you're Ball State. The Saints haven't gone too far out of the attacker spawn yet. Still trying to figure out where the best line of attack is. Instinct trying to make something work here. Does get those neon walls up to give himself a little bit more cover. They clear out that rotation into B.
30 seconds left.
Beautiful work from the Saints, slowly creeping their way through. Taiga gonna get spike planted on B. There's Ball State right out of the smoke as bodies fall left and right. St. Clair, though, come out on top of that fight. 2 members left for both sides. Spike didn't get planted the first time. Taiga gonna make sure it gets down. 10 seconds left. Spike goes down. Ball State has to respond.
Well, that was huge there. I mean, hook, line, and sinker. You send the fast lane, and immediately you're able to make all of Ball State rotate off of, or rotate into C. The B take gets done, and then what do? You double back on it. It's beautifully done from St. Clair, but they still have to hold true on their cross angles, and that will not be done. A beautiful job to get the spike down, but give credit to Ball State where credit is due. They take care of the retake, and they bag themselves a thrifty.
Yeah, I mean, Ball State just really hasn't been strong on the retake so far. I mean, this is what, their second or third retake of this series? I mean, just not super strong in that regard. St. Clair's
I thought you were just going to say their attempt at one. I'm like, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been damn near every round. You're talking about successful ones? Yes, I'll give that to you, Evan. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I appreciate the live fact check, though, from my co-caster, but my point still stands that St. Clair has been super, super strong in these post-plant scenarios. Ball State able to get one back there. Still a lot of work to do, though, if you're a fan of Ball State Valorant Red. I mean, St. Clair has just been running the floor, and with instinct, investing in the shotgun, trying to get far. That flash and stun isn't going to stop him. Does find Phobos for that opening pick once again. Instinct making his presence known.
Right in. Now St. Clair. They have that spike count, and they just have to work. Post plan, and oh no, you would have thought Tillo just a little more composure, maybe have the second, but it's okay. At minimum, you found one. Let the Viper Pit do its work. Shotgun close in. It's going to be the shorty. Seth takes one out. God of Arcadia answers right back, though, as now Ball State, they have to push the tempo here, but Instinct, he's completely lurking, knows where to make the play. The first one gets found out, fires through back onto the spike, and it doesn't even matter. Just find the last couple of shots. No, God of Arcadia, huge play there, but there's not enough time. He won't be able to get the job done regardless, and just to add insult to injury, Seth finishing him off with the shorty. Great job there from St. Clair. They let the Vipers Pit do the work, as well as Tillo with a little calm backstab just to keep Ball State off their feet.
Well, that round had me on the edge of my seat there. It looked like the Saints weren't going to be able to secure that one, but the shotguns were the MVP there. Instinct staying composed, staying patient, waiting for the perfect moment to strike in the Viper's Pit. He finds it. Sev finishing off God of Arcadia. Wouldn't have even mattered, though. The spike detonates regardless. The Saints one step closer to a victory here, getting closer to that side switch. But the Saints have just continued this dominant streak. JP misses his opening shot. Not going to matter, though, as he reloads and resets. See how aggressive the Saints want to play this one. You have to think that Ball State has to be expecting some sort of aggressive push, but the Saints waiting. Maybe trying to throw them off or set a fake their way.
Right, well, I mean, I feel like until Instinct does that little bait there, it's kind of just testing, hey, have we learned our lesson? Can we just stop peeking JP on long angle? But no, immediately finds the first pick in a beautiful headshot. Fatal goes up. That being said, St. Clair, they're making their way onto the B site all the same. Instinct with yet another headshot, doing God's work. He's not going to be able to find anyone on the double up, though. Well done by Ball State to counter him out. But now you have another retake on your hands. Let's see how they play this.
Yeah, this is a really important retake here. I mean, the Saints, if they do come out of this one, you can basically call this one essentially done and dusted. I mean, you don't want to give Ball State not a chance, but what about now?
Yeah, you know, I mean, in this round, yes. I thought you were more alluding to the fact of the game. I'm like, you know what, on Lotus, 8-3, yeah, it's bad for your defense, but at the same time, it is, again, attacker favored. If we're just going to go off of momentum, though, you know what, Evan, I'll give it to you. I think this one, you know, I don't want to necessarily cast a curse and call it too early, but I'll say this much. Ball State have one hell of a mountain to climb, and they don't even have any gear hooked up right now at the moment. I mean, they haven't even made the drive over to Everest. A little late there, as it seems like St. Clair, they it's the same as it was on Sunset. They are just so dominant in getting the spike down, and they damn near play every, and I mean literally every post plant perfectly. Patience, composure. It's something that I've wanted to see for a long time in St. Clair to this degree, and I'm glad that I'm seeing it here. And this is a huge game because when we talk about the stipulations that go into a game like this, right? This is Ball State and a super conference where we've named so many of the heavy hitters. This is a good confidence boost, and if you can get this win today over Ball State, crucial points in the later stages of the runnings.
Shout out to our observer for getting a nice close-up shot of Instinct in game here as we wait for the start of round 11.
What a specimen.
There you what a specimen.
14
That's a
and
good way
9.
to put it. Just like we said, balling out. Him and JP just going band for band in this series right now.
Again, like I'll say it, Seth is 12
Sev
and
as
2
well,
right
yeah.
now.
Gotta
Like,
give him credit too.
this is insane.
Go,
The
go.
whole team, Taiga even making plays when it matters most, right? Tillo on these backstabs, he's able to make rounds harder for Ball State to work up on retakes, and these fade ults are doing wonders for them right now in terms of taking positioning. So it just makes it that much harder, and
You want to
Ball
play?
State, they
Let's
just
play.
haven't got an answer for him. Let's pull out a tour de force now and see, they haven't learned their lesson when JP has an outlaw. At this point, maybe pull out a tour de force. Maybe they don't learn their lesson either.
Yeah, you really want JP to make sure he cooks, especially with Ball State. A bit of an eco here. Rebo, the only rifler for Ball State in this round here. You have to
The
make sure you
potential flick here,
don't
Evan.
give them an easy pick
The
to
potential
potentially
flick.
steal another rifle. Yeah, I'm waiting for that JP pick as well. Have
Nope.
to wait a little bit longer. Instinct finding that opening pick, but JP not going to be able to use that tour de force in his favor. Is Ball State able to remove him from the board? 3 members alive for Ball State. Rebo's still up, so that Vandal is still out. Saints do have to keep an eye on that Omen. And there he is, just as we called it. Caster Curse, once again, comes to fruition as Sev falls to Rebo. 3-all. Scoreline here is Instinct patiently waiting for that swing from Thomas. See if his patience is rewarded here. Not gonna swing, not gonna matter though.
Post.
Taiga
Last
going to
player
finish him off.
standing.
It's all up to Rebo now. Not gonna happen. Instinct spring and praying through the smoke. Tillo waiting for it to clear. Is going to finish Rebo off. 9-2. The Saints secure another one.
Yeah, I mean, again, Ball State just searching for answers and actually doing a really good job of at least disposing of JP, who had that tour de force, but at the same time, you lose 2 members for it. So what real value have you gained? You take away a sniper, but you
Last
don't take
player
away any
standing.
util. You don't take away anyone with the spike, and trade it out for 2 at the end of the day.
I'll
And it
find
leaves you
that.
with tons of gaps that the Saints then further exploit. Last round and a half, but a chance for the Saints to quickly reach double digits here. This A-take going very fast. The Viper wall already down to split off between that B side. And now JP just walking him down with the op, looking to take a first engagement. No one's really giving him anything, although I feel like they would have heard the drop. So defender position should be known, and it definitely is confirmed now. And now you can just kind of hit,
Too far.
that sandwich as Taiga and Seth doing a good job to find the initial picks. Seth here actually could be on for a little bit of something, but no, shut down by God of Arcadia. That being said, their positions are known. Everyone knows they're going to alert now. Thomas with a beautiful shot, though, will put Instinct down for the count. Spike planted as Ball State need to do yet another retake.
And again, this has been the story of the entire series. The Saints get these quick plants down. Ball State having to scramble for these retakes, which St. Clair has been so strong in all series, both series so far. JP finding Thomas with the op. 2 more members alive to potentially give Ball State a
Last
chance to
player
get
standing.
a win right out of the half. JP,
One enemy
Opponent
remaining.
killed.
Phobos
No charges left.
eliminating Tillo. JP, though, waiting to potentially win this 1v1. Oh, he misses the quick scope
Time,
there.
he's got
But
it, though.
time is not going to be in Phobos' favor, though. St. Clair wins despite the missed shot from JP. Going in around, going into the halftime, I should say, up 10-2. Still feeling pretty good. Only 3 rounds away now.
Well,
shout out to the sponsor, Tim Hortons
Tim
Sip
Hortons,
as
yeah.
well. Thank you.
I was going to comment on the fact that JP doesn't need that kill, right? As long as he does something to get that Sage off of the spike, he's done his job. Name anything better than, regardless of if he hits or misses, an op shot to ring through the ears of anybody. That's forcing anyone off. It don't matter, right? So, JP, well done there. Just playing patient, backing up as a vet would, claiming the round for St. Clair. A side swap now, but could it be all too late for Ball State? This is where they need to make their statement. This is where they need to force the difference.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I think it's going to be too little too late for Ball State at this point. I mean, the Saints so close to victory here. But if you can secure an early pistol, you can build up your economy again. Just, you know, try and build up a couple rounds early. But like you said, they haven't even started that drive to Everest yet. If you're going to do it, it's going to have to happen now. But not if Taiga can say anything about it. A triple for Taiga. Seth adding another one to secure that one for St. Clair. 2 rounds away from victory, and the boys are just having too much fun with it right now.
I put my hands on my head after Taiga had that second kill through the smoke. I just heard the sound of the kill come through, and I immediately assumed it was the third. By the time I removed my hands off of my face, the round was already over. Ball State are simply in a blender right now. St. Clair making a smoothie out of them. I mean, just look at the feed across the board. I don't even care. Who cares that Tillo's 5-7? You're up 11-2 right now. He's doing a good job of enabling after post plant. Everybody on St. Clair is just popping off. Instinct working through with the Bucky, finds a quick one onto the Rays as the refrag does come back, but St. Clair, they're just working with the pace that they're given, assuming that this lurk will be found out by Steph on the Viper. Actually, it seems like they've just passed each other, and well done to that. They won't be able to get flanked as now working up close. You see that Seth and JP are making the difference. The Sage swings on through, and this one is all over. Immediately, huge round there from St. Clair, and now they get ever so closer to taking this in 2-0 fashion.
And we saw how strong that St. Clair's post-plan defense is, but then we got a really good look at how good their retake was. I mean, just quickly crashing that site, everybody contributing, and just blink and you miss it. The Saints have already retaken the site, and now 1 round away from securing the W.
Right, I mean, it's tough. I want to talk Ball State, but what can you even bring up other than just nothing but blunders? It's tough, right? And as a caster, I will go ahead and say, it's hard to cast a blowout because you need talking points on both sides. We haven't gotten anything from Ball State right now. It's just been purely St. Clair domination. There's been no substance, lack of place. I mean, Instinct right now is just toying with them, sending a fast lane just to say, hey, I'm here, and completely back out, making them falter in decision making. Ball State, luckily though, hasn't done any of that. They at least go through, they don't pay it any mind, they get the plant down. And there's a little bit of character development, but it seems like all the same, no one is developing when taking these one-on-one gunfights with Instinct. The man is claiming heads, he's putting people down to the count.
Well, you say that now, but Law has been quietly giving Ball State a chance to get back into it. Of course, as I say that, Instinct takes care of him. Taiga not going to be able to do it, though.
That's so unlucky.
So unlucky for St. Clair. They had that one in the bag, not able to secure it. But I think at this point, really just delaying the inevitable.
I will say, if anything, well read out there by Thomas, able to put the man down. And there you go. You know, Ball State, they show us a little bit of something. They get that 3rd round right. But again, Instinct, you know, we were at that point where if it weren't for Law making his presence known on that retake from Fade, from that B-Link, honestly, I would have said you're letting St. Clair, especially Instinct, get away with a little bit too much there, but they at least make the statement made that they're not here to mess around either, as Ball State, they claim their 3rd. St. Clair, though, on match point. Ball State need to be absolutely flawless for the remainder of Lotus if they want to see map 3.
I think if I'm St. Clair right now, I don't want to give Ball State any thoughts or any hope of mounting a comeback. You just want to end this one right now. don't over-aggress, but don't be afraid to get down and dirty when the time comes and really get in there. Tillo, great start for him. That's the opening pick going the way of St. Clair. Walk trying to get the spike down. Taiga finds God of Arcadia. Law answers with JP, but not going to help as Rebo, the only man left standing after the carnage. All going to be up to him with the spike. Try and make a miracle happen for Ball State, but the members of the Saints are hunting him down.
Right, I was going to say, when you do have an advantage as 12-3, you don't even necessarily have to end it now. You can just wait for players on Ball State to burn their ults, and then you guys could just ult dump for one round and win it. That's all you need, right? But that being said, it's a decent angle here from Rebo. Is he just going to go for the knife kill? Well, you know, at least you have one going down on Waterfall's side. There you go. A little bit embarrassing for Seth, but who's the real winners here is right now you still have a lot of time to play around with here if you're St. Clair. That's going to be the final pick. And there you go. The knife kill to end it out, but Tillo will have the last laugh as St. Clair, they will get this one done in 2-0 fashion, a sweep of Ball State. And might I say, for a team that underwent some huge roster changes, questions being asked, they've certainly delivered today.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm very, very impressed with how the Saints were able to perform today. I mean, everybody contributing in their own way. You know, we talked about Instinct, we talked about JP, Seth, Till. I mean, the whole gang just absolutely balled out on Ball State tonight. I mean, what more can you say? Just a sound, resounding first victory in the first week of NACE. Very, very impressive start to the season.
Right, and man, I just loved the aggression that St. Clair came with, but the thing is, to me, the big one is that it was all controlled aggression. I think waiting, especially the acquisition of JP, so good.
Huge.
At just punishing people who overextend, and off of that, immediately when that chamber does grant you that little glimpse, you then have all the power, especially on attack, to then take the gaps provided, right? We saw Seth making some brilliant plays as the controller and Sentinel that he was that series. I think that having him there was perfect for the time being. Will we see him in later games? Probably not. But you know what? For the one time he was in this season, he definitely made his impact felt. Had a crazy second game. Huge classic play in the first two. I'm never going to forget that.
Of course, how could we ever? I mean, but again, like you said, contributions from everybody, and you really kind of talk about the controlled aggression, and the other thing we were sort of highlighting was how good they were on retakes and post-planted. That all kind of comes back to that controlled aggression, knowing when to swing, knowing when to try and retake a site, just waiting for that perfect opportunity, waiting for Instinct to find that perfect pick, and that's exactly what they were able to do. Just so good on all facets, I have to say. I mean, we're going to see who the series MVP is. I think I know who it's going to be, but Smoke, who is the MVP for you? Again, I think I know who it's going to be, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, you say you know who it's going to be, but like at the same time, there's so many names that come across like my mind. Honestly, Instinct and JP are the two that stand out the most. But for the one time, could I see them giving it to Seth? Sure, I absolutely could. That being said, let's take a look at the match stats. Look at the man on the bottom, 17-7. You show him, coach. You're not unked just yet as Instinct. 19-3 there, topping the kill board. JP right behind him with some crazy good picks to open up both series as Taiga as well. 15-6, beautifully played through. And sure, maybe on the kill board, a slower start for Tillo, but at the same time,
impactful kills.
Yeah, like if you're looking at that and you're like, oh man, he had a bad game because he went 7-8, you just don't know ball. Ball State showed up, they didn't know ball. Look what happened to them. 0-2 sweep, back to the drawing board.
And again, you look at the side of Ball State. I mean, Rebo trying to top right there, not going to do it. Oh, look at that. Sev gets the MVP. I was sure it was going to be Instinct, but Sev, like you said, he really earned it. The coach balled out, age, Dino, doesn't matter. Able to drop a huge second map, 17-7 for the coach. Just absolutely massive for him. But really, this could have been shared by anybody, I think.
I thought that we were honestly just going to change ACS to like just age right there. I thought that's what the producer in the back was going to do, but nope. It was a little nicer to him at least not showing a very large, potentially unfathomable number, but Dino suits it very well. And I mean, he absolutely was a crushing factor for Ball State here. The plays he was making with the Sage early, just to shut down aggression and apply it and emphasize it for St. Clair on Sunset. Switch over, map 2. He was just an absolute demon on the Viper, getting the job done again, controlled aggression, really utilizing and calling the shots off of that duelist play from Instinct on the Neon. So great job overall from Seth and the team. I've heard that, again, we will have to wait until next time maybe for an interview, but that being said, I'm not sad about it because honestly, let the guys have the night off easy. These guys showed up and absolutely cooked.
Well, you say have the night off and have it easy because as we look towards next week, we'll talk about this a little bit. Huge match in week 2 of the NACE Super Conference. It's going to be St. Clair versus Cumberland. Very, very huge matchup for the second week. Going to be a bit interesting for JP, coming over from Cumberland to St. Clair in the offseason. Has to be a bit emotional for him, bit interesting to face off against his former team. These two powerhouses of collegiate Valorant are going to square off next week. Really, really going to be exciting. You don't want to miss it, but I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we have too much more to say besides shouting out the sponsors, which we're not going to forget or almost forget this time. So without further ado, thank you to our sponsors for the stream. That's going to be Tim Hortons, Subway, St. Clair SRC, and the St. Clair Alumni Association, Onezo, and Alienware. You guys keep the lights on for us. Thank you very much. And again, thank you to everybody on production in the back room. We got Hayden, we got Owen back there, we got little Patrick Smoke Chambers, Adam back there in the back. Shout out to the Observer. And Carl as well. I cannot forget Carl again, our in-house Valorant expert. He was doing great replays. We had a little bit of, trash talk from the producer on comms, but everybody performed great tonight. Smoke, anything you want to add before we sign off for tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank the players, the coaches for putting on a show. Thank you to all the viewers as well. Saw a couple people out in the pit, but everyone back at home as well. Thank you for watching, for letting us have fun doing the job that we love to do as professional D1 yappers. So guys, it's been all from me, Patrick Smoke Chambers, and Evan Johnson. We will be signing off. Catch us next time on St. Clair Esports Saints Gaming CA. We're signing out. See you tomorrow.